Hey folks, we're here today to talk to you about some changes that are going on in Washington State. Some of them have been underway for some time, and it's sort of a staged approach that came out of Olympia that's allowing King County and some of the surrounding counties to begin some development processes that are allowing more density and more opportunities for building in Washington State. There's some good things that can impact affordability and can impact the way that you can use your property. So we just want to talk about that a little bit at a high level. We're going to provide some resources and some slides as we talk about it. But Jeremiah, you want to talk about ADUs and DADUs. What are ADUs and DADUs, and what does that have to do with what we're talking about here?
Yes, so ADU stands for accessory dwelling unit. DADU is DADU and is just a detached accessory dwelling unit. An ADU is like another house. In the past it was called like a mother-in-law suite, where you add something that has all the elements of a house. It has a kitchen, including a stove with a hood, is the official meaning in some counties, that is attached to a primary residence. Or a DADU is a detached. It's like a little house that's on your property, but typically it's smaller, like up to 2/3 the size of the main residence, and there's limits on how many square feet it can have depending on what jurisdiction you're in. In Whatcom County, for instance, you can have it be up to 1,248 square feet. In the city of Bellingham, it can be up to 1,000 square feet. As Dad mentioned, there's some things that have been going on for a while. Maybe you've heard of HB 1337. That's House Bill 1337 or 1110. Those were both passed in 2023, so that's already a couple of years back. Then this session in 2025, House Bill 1096 was passed for lot splitting, and these are all meant to encourage more dense development in the cities. One could see it sort of as the state getting into the city stuff and saying, you cities, you haven't been doing your job in allowing for more dense development in cities, so we're going to tell you you have to have your comprehensive plan updated by a certain time to allow for these things in what was historically single-family zoning. There are differing opinions on this, of course, as to whether that's a good thing. Is this an overreach by the states? Have the cities just not been doing their job? And there's truth to both arguments, I'm sure. The thing is, though, this is what's coming down the pipeline and is already implemented in King County and is going to be soon in Whatcom and Skagit counties. Depends on how much detail should we go into.
Share what's on.
So, for instance, if a city is 75,000 people or more, the only one that would count for that is Bellingham in Whatcom and Skagit. That's the only city that's over 75,000 people. You can have up to fourplexes in single-family zoning. In some cases, even 6 units if it's close to a major transit stop. The legislation doesn't clearly define what a major transit stop is, and we'll see more of that coming down the pipeline as it's implemented.
What does that do to single family? So you're talking about 6 units on a single plot. How does that happen with residential?
So that's a question that's still being answered, although in Seattle we're already seeing it. They're calling them 6-packs, where you have, for instance, a fourplex that's in townhouse style, that has then 2 ADUs next to it, essentially 6 units. And you can even condominiumize them, where you're selling them off individually. You're already starting to see that happen in King County, and typically what happens in Seattle starts to go into the other jurisdictions as well.
What does condominiumize mean? What do you mean by that?
Condominiumization is the process of taking a piece of real estate and then splitting it up into air rights or condos that can be owned separately. So an example, well, you can build condos as condos. You build an apartment complex, you split it up into condos that can be sold separately. That's, I think most people understand how that works. What's somewhat new is that you can do that in single-family zoning, where you only could build 1 residence in the past, and now they're going to allow building 4 units, possibly even up to 6 units if it's close to a major
on a
transit.
single lot.
On a single lot. Now, of course, there's still other things that come into play, like is there enough water and sewer infrastructure? Or CC&Rs, if the owners of, or the developers or the homeowners association have said you can only have this, then in some cases those will override the law, in other cases they won't. It depends. California has implemented some of this. Washington is doing it a little bit differently with more respect for CC&Rs, that's covenants, conditions, and restrictions, and HOAs. So it's not, they're not, yeah.
It's not all cut and dried, yet there are opportunities here, especially if you have a somewhat larger lot in a city. So right now it's Bellingham, but there's some of the other cities in Whatcom County and Skagit County may go along with this, especially if there's an alley, a situation where you've got an alley on your property. You know, well, how could this apply to a homeowner who already has a property? How could this be something that would be of value to them?
If you own a piece of property in the city of Bellingham, for instance, you're on an alley and your house is on the street and there's a large lot in the back, this could be a large area in the back still on your lot that's adjacent to the alley, especially if the alley already has water and sewer in it. That can be a great opportunity to be an extra source of income for you as a homeowner. You build an ADU there and you rent it out, or maybe you want to retire in place and you actually move into the ADU and rent out the main house where you used to live. In some places there's even the option to condominiumize it and you sell one of them off. You live in one and sell the other off. Those are all options that are now becoming possible because of the new legislation.
So basically the reason we want to bring this to you is to talk about possibilities. Do you have questions about this? Do you have concerns about it? You know, talk with us. This is not all yet completely fulfilled. Some of the things will be coming 1st of January 2026 for Whatcom County and Skagit County. Some of the other counties, Snohomish, King, Pierce, and Kitsap are already ahead, and they're already implementing some of these, whereas Whatcom, Skagit, Clallam, Jefferson, Mason, Thurston, and Lewis, as well as some others, are doing it a little later, and then it's staged to the rest of the state. Opportunities here, potentially. You have any questions about this in real estate, about adding density, about looking for opportunities to invest? Let's have a conversation. We'd love to serve you as always. Thanks for your time.